Okay, ladies and germs, Conor here from W's Tech Reviews, back with another video, and today we're doing a review of the Oppo Find X3 Neo 5G. How many names is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 words in the name of this phone. That's a lot. Now I could do the typical review and go through the specs and then the performance and the software and this and that and the other, or I could tell you why I think this phone stands out and why I think you should get it. And I just leave all the other stuff to the side. You can go Google the specs, or maybe I just put them up here for everyone to have a look at. But I really just want to focus on what made me go, wow, this phone's different. Because you don't always get that. Like, a lot of phones are good and they're just at average good, and everyone's guilty of that. But some phones leave an impression, good or bad. Today we're going to look at the good and the bad of the Oppo Find X3 Neo 5G. What's going on here? Now, my first experience with the Oppo Find X3 Neo 5G was unboxing it, and I was pleasantly surprised for a couple of reasons. The first one that really sort of took me back, and I was like, wow, that's different. I haven't seen that for a while, or something like that, was the actual texture of the back of it. Now, this is called the pyramid texture, or something like that, like pyramid. Anyway, it looks and feels different. As soon as you open the box up, you pick it up and you're like, wow, this is a different looking device. 10 out of 10 for the back of the display. And you know what I love even more about it? Look, zero fingerprints on that matte part at the back there. Doesn't matter how many times you touch it, you get no fingerprints on it, on the back of it. On the front, it's a typical display. You're gonna get fingerprints all over the front of it. But on the back, it looks amazing. And I do like that camera setup there as well. On the back, it's not too over intrusive. The camera hump doesn't stick out too much like it can do on some other devices. You know, you've probably got about a 1 mil clearance there for the camera hump, where I've seen maybe 2.5 mil on some devices. So it looks really good. And the other really nice surprise for me was the way I could hold it in one hand and use it. It's not too big, it's not too unwieldy. I could just pick it up and use it with one hand. I like that. And that's the one thing I miss about, you know, I had the Pixel 3, and for me that was the perfect size, it was the perfect phone. Pick it up, use it, no dramas. And this is close to that. Although it is bigger than a phone like the Pixel 3 or even the Pixel 5, it is definitely slim, and it is only 7.99 millimeters thick. So just a fraction underneath 8 millimeters thick, but a really pleasant build to hold and to use. It's got a really high score. I'm gonna say A+ for the design of the Oppo Find X3 Neo 5G. It's just awesome to hold and use. Excellent. And then front on, you have a Super AMOLED display. It comes in at 1100 nits. Really bright, daylight. It's just amazing. Look, I live in Queensland in Australia. It's really sunny here a lot of the time, even in winter, and I had no problems. I could view this at any time of the day in direct sunlight, no issues. And it's also got 90 Hertz. So for gaming, you're gonna get a really good experience as well, and more on that soon. So I absolutely dig it. Now, talking about that camera, I'm loving the video capabilities on this camera. Now, this phone is currently coming in at around 1100 bucks. So it's got some pretty stiff competition. You know, you're talking like iPhone 12 mini, you're talking Galaxy S21 sort of price range. This phone holds its own, and especially for the video capabilities, 4K 60 with really good stabilization, no disappointment. HDR, Dolby, I mean, it's a really good phone for creating content. And I believe it's marketed that way as well. I mean, it's just really easy to use. 4K 60, 1080p 60, slow motion. And you can also shoot your full-on slow motion video in 1080p as well. So for a lot of phones, it might drop back to 720p for that full-on slow motion, but not here with the Oppo Find X3 Neo 5G. It actually sticks at 1080p for that super slow-mo. So really cool. Then you've got stabilization and HDR mode, which puts out a really nice image, one that I'd be happy to use if that was all I had. You can get some really nice crisp images. Now, I did notice a little bit of jello effect here and there, Especially here you can see now, this is my 8-year-old daughter running after me holding the camera, and you can see a little bit of jello creeps in here and there. And I don't really know what that is from, possibly from the stabilization. Now also with the video, you have that dual video mode as well that you can also find in like the Galaxy S21 Ultra and phones like that. So you can film with both cameras at once. This is dual video mode. Holy crap, I'm a video director. Wow. It also has pro mode and movie mode for shooting video as well. So you can get quite creative with this phone. I really do think it's for the creative types because it produces such good video and so many different options. So it's really cool. You're gonna love it. Now for photos, you have that ultra wide lens, the standard wide angle lens, and then your zoom lens. You can get some pretty good images out of all of these. I'm really happy with the camera. The only thing I would say, and this is like, yeah, having a dig, so what, but it's typical of Oppo, is that beauty mode is just way over the top, you know. I'm a 45-year-old dude. I shouldn't look like I've got Barbie skin. You know what I mean? Like it's just too much. So I think they could dial that back a bit, or at least have it so it's off and not automatically just set to smooth everything so badly. Even my 20-year-old daughter who, you know, it's massive for her to have those sorts of features. She said it was too much as well. So beauty mode, too much, need to dial it back. But you do have portrait mode as well, and that produces some pretty good images. A little bit of oversaturation here, but I don't mind it. You can always adapt it to dial it back a bit. And then you have all your creative filters and AI mode, so it detects what scene you're shooting and all that sort of stuff. Great camera, great video. I think it's definitely right where it should be for the price point, and it competes with the other phones at that price point. So this is definitely something to consider. Here's a little bit of a video clip I put together with some 4K 60 slow-mo and a bit of B-roll. Let me know what you think. Now, some of these clips are filmed on a gimbal and some aren't. And I bet you cannot tell which one's a gimbal and which ones aren't. Now another area where I was impressed, 12 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 865 5G. This phone is fast. No hiccups. I mean, I'm scrolling Instagram and it's not stuttering, it's loading everything really quickly. Absolutely no problems at all with the performance. There was an area where I thought this is a little bit buggy, and that was using the Google feed. The Google feed was slow to load and would stutter. But I'm not sure, but I think that was more Google related because I didn't have that experience with other social media apps, just a Google feed. Then for gaming, not a problem. I mean, most phones can handle phone gaming pretty well these days, and that's the case with the Oppo Find X3 Neo. I played a bit of Call of Duty, Asphalt 9, Leo's Fortune, and never did I experience any stutter, any lag, any drop frame rates. To me, it was a really good experience. It just performed really, really well. It was a solid experience. And the sound was really good as well. You've got that Dolby sound. So when you're playing games or watching videos that actually offer that, it was really nice. It was a solid experience. The sound was full. You know, most phones sound a little bit tinny at some point, and you get that here with this phone as well. But it was a step up from a lot of other phones, especially viewing content in HDR mode. So on Amazon Prime and Netflix, viewing that HDR content was really nice. I mean, some of that content is so good to watch, especially from a cinematic point of view, and to have that come across on your display was awesome. And again, that display with that Super AMOLED, 1100 nits. Got to change batteries, stopping the video right now. Alrighty, now I bet you didn't realize that I just went to the shop, got some more batteries for the microphone, and I'm back already. And it's late too, it's 10 o'clock at night. Now battery life. Oppo Find X3 Neo 5G battery life is sweet. It's a 2-day phone. Now I'm a heavy phone user and I was getting a day and a half easy, and that's with using GPS for running as well. I mean, I just get a day and a half, which you should out of most phones. 4,500 milliamp hour battery, VOOC 2.0, 65 watt fast charging. This thing blazes when it comes to battery life. Zero problems. I mean, watching YouTube, doing photography, doing videography, using all the apps, the social media, watching content on Netflix as well. I mean, it just didn't die in a 36-hour period. If you're a light phone user, this is going to last you 2 to 3 days. I kid you not. It just lasts and lasts and lasts. Now 5G, if it's a bit light in your area, it might zap it a little bit quicker because it's always searching for that 5G antenna, but nothing that's worse than any other 5G phone in this price range. It's a day and a half battery life, easy peasy. So I'm just loving it. I really do think it stands out for those reasons. The camera, the software, the battery life, and the performance. They're the main reasons you would get this. It's gonna do you no wrong. Areas I'd like to see for improvement. Just that little bit of a hang here and there with the software, especially in that Google feed. Beauty mode, it's just bad. I think it just, I would be happy if they even took it out. I mean, I don't need to see people that are fake. I want to see real people. And something else that I will mention that is a bit of a bummer, and you don't see this a lot with Oppo, but it's got no headphone jack. So if you do like your wired headphones, you might want to look at something else from Oppo or another manufacturer. I think that's it for my video. I think that's it. Oppo Find X3 Neo 5G. Find it at a store near you or buy it from my links and help me out. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Check ya.